Senator Kamala Harris's campaign has a new strategy. It's putting its focus on Iowa. In a call with reporters Thursday, campaign officials said they want to ensure a, quote, strong top 3 finish in the state. The campaign also said they are adding additional staff and offices there. The California senator plans to spend half of October campaigning in Iowa. Harris spent a combined 11 days in the state during the months of June, July, and August. A CBS News Battleground Tracker poll released earlier this month found her in 5th place in Iowa, dropping 10 points since July. Let's bring in Eliza Collins. She's a national political reporter for the Wall Street Journal, and she joins me now from Washington. Hi, Eliza. Thanks for being with us. So,
of course.
Why does the Harris campaign feel focusing on Iowa is the best strategy right now?
Well, the Harris campaign has to do something different. She is stuck in these single digits. She had sort of this, as the campaign said, sugar high boost in the polls after she went after Joe Biden in the first debate earlier this summer. But now she's basically dropped back down to those single digits. She's in 4th or 5th place in most polls, and she's got to change up something. Iowa is the first state to vote in the primary calendar. It is a state where spending time on the ground, talking to voters really does matter. It's all about retail politics. And often, if you win in Iowa or come in 1st or 2nd, that can help give you momentum going forward. We saw this with President Obama. He won Iowa after sort of this big ground game, and it helped him keep winning and ultimately take the nomination.
All right, so the Harris campaign says it does not regret all that time spent fundraising. Do you think strategically, though, it may be a little late for a focus on Iowa and that shift toward retail or one-on-one campaigning on the ground?
Well, she certainly missed a lot of time that the other candidates were on the ground. And the other thing about this is candidates like Elizabeth Warren, Cory Booker, Biden, Sanders, they came in early. They put a lot of staff on the ground. I mean, simple things like getting the good locations for campaign offices. And so she's coming in, she's opening 10 campaign offices. She's hiring 60 paid staffers. I mean, it is a big investment, and they certainly are, working on this. But there are people who have been there all along. So it could be late, but we'll see. I mean, we've got a while. We've got months till the primary in February, and it is a crowded field, so things are definitely different this year than they have been in past cycles.
Things are definitely still in flux. All right, now moving over to the Sanders campaign, it confirmed Wednesday it has parted ways with its political director in Iowa. The campaign also recently replaced its New Hampshire state director. So how is the campaign trying to position itself with these staffing changes in these key early states?
Well, the campaign insists that this is all amicable, that there's no drama here, but this does come, the same week Wall Street Journal and NBC had a poll that showed Sanders down in 3rd place, far below Elizabeth Warren and Joe Biden, double digits below both of them. And that's significant. I mean, Sanders came into this race. He was a well-known quantity. He's been 2nd in most polls. We have seen Elizabeth Warren start to overtake him in some, though not all of those polls. And there are, questions about some of those voters that did support Sanders in 2016 going to Warren. So the Sanders campaign, similar to Harris, though he is in definitely a better position in polling, is going to have to really put in some investments, time. I mean, he's definitely on the road quite a bit, but there's staffing changes at a time when he needs to be doing better.
All right, so I want to ask you about a tweet from Matt Drudge. He is the founder of that conservative website, The Drudge Report. He tweeted a picture of Elizabeth Warren's Monday night rally in New York City with the caption, "It's Elizabeth Warren's nomination to lose." There were an estimated 20,000 people at her rally. But, I have to ask you, considering that this praise is coming from Matt Drudge, is he suddenly an Elizabeth Warren supporter, or is there something more nefarious at play in his praise of her campaign?
Well, I'm not sure exactly what is going on in Matt Drudge's mind. He could be making an observation. I mean, that picture it's significant, right? 20,000 people showing up for Warren means something. It means momentum. It comes the same week she is, again, doing very well in the polls. But I don't think Matt Drudge is an Elizabeth Warren supporter. And we are seeing, some Republicans I talked to would like to see someone like Warren or Sanders take the Democratic nomination because they feel that they are too progressive and that they can target, President Trump can target sort of those more centrist voters, those independents, and bring them back over to President Trump's side compared to someone like Joe Biden, who they think would be more of a threat to the president. But again, it also could be just an observation that at this moment there is momentum behind Warren.
Absolutely. Okay, finally, I'd like to ask you about Mayor Pete Buttigieg's campaign. He's invited reporters on his 4-day bus tour across Iowa later this week. The move is drawing comparisons to the late Senator John McCain's Straight Talk Express. What is the Buttigieg campaign hoping to achieve with this move?
Well, this is another candidate who is hoping to break out. The Straight Talk Express, when John McCain did it, was sort of this novel idea. He had these reporters on. He talked at length. He really got to know reporters. He really got to know voters. And although he didn't ultimately win that nomination in 2000, it really was this moment where people got to know John McCain. And I think that is what Buttigieg is trying to do. Like Harris, he's often in 4th or 5th place in polling. He is doing very well in fundraising, but he is having a hard time, again, breaking into that very top tier of candidates. And so he's trying to do something different. Bringing reporters on means you get coverage, right? That's important.
Yeah.
I will note that Harris did that earlier this summer. Actually, that was one of her trips to Iowa. So he is not the first person to do it this campaign, but there are some similarities definitely to McCain.
It does seem to engender a lot of goodwill among the press, so that's always a valuable thing when you're running for president. All right, Eliza Collins, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks.